Hello everyone, back in Space Engineers in the creative world. I've been doing some work while offline or just not playing with friends, and there are a couple updates. First of all, I created this Nox Badger as a response to this, this was too big, this old tunneler. Old smallest tunneler of the three. As you can notice, I made some landing pad ships because they don't have landing gear. So the Badger, it's more maneuverable, lighter, but not much actually, and it's really sleek. There's really not much at all in the profile. In the profile of the ship that goes outside the range of the drills, so it shouldn't get stuck anywhere at any time unless you really screw up on yourself. It's got 2 medium containers, so it has some staying power. It doesn't have that much thrust, but it's really okay to move anyway. And it has just enough power and a landing gear here. Quite well hidden and protected as well. It is not that optimized. There are possibly a few armor pieces that I could remove, but otherwise it's a fine ship, and everything's connected to everything again. Well, actually, reactors are not connected to the cargo. But otherwise, the drills all feed to the medium containers. And, as you can see there, I made a small thing. This is my first attempt at like a strip mining collector ship. And that is because I've been drilling a station into the asteroid. Those lights and all the stuff here are only temporary, but I've been using a copy of the Badger for quite some time, let's say a couple hours. And it's not only that I've drilled with the Badger, actually the Badger was born for this job. The old models weren't really up to the task. And my intention is to build a hangar that is 1 tile wider on each side than the hole heading in. And actually, the way I've done this now is a little silly. The collector pushes everything to the center and then draws it in, or alternatively you can make it push in if you don't want stuff to seep through the holes here and stuff. For example, it'll just clump up to a big pile in the middle, and then you can reverse the gravity generators on the ship to, well, only one of them, to collect all of them. Also, the ship itself has enough gravity generators that negate the effect of the fields inside the ship. So actually currently it's 2G for some reason. I left it at 1G. I'm sure. Anyway, so you can walk about the ship normally. But I'll have to look at that later. It's been sitting there quite a while. So yeah. Big drilling task. Badger's been doing most of the work. And it's quite fast. It's like most of the time I've spent like drilling is getting those pieces in with the hand drill. These aren't easy to. Well, you can't really do precision stuff with a drill ship like that. So hand drill has to be taking half of the time or something. And then I decided I needed a an even smaller smaller drill ship for surface drilling, because the Badger is really good at tunneling, but a little awkward in cramped spaces. If I'm totally not lying, it's actually really awful. It is maneuverable, but it's long. So, the Armadillo was born. It is really compact. There's very little space inside that's not used. Still has the 2 containers, but it has 7 drills. The first model is really heavy. It has armor blocks inside that are not visible, and overall it's got 2 little maneuvering thrusters. Just enough on the front main thrusters though. And as such, I decided I needed a new model again. And so the Mark II was born. Design has remained pretty much the same. I've added some protective fins, I would almost say. Put some coloring, went like a 9-year-old, because, well, you should, it's space engineers. And I increased the maneuvering thruster count by doubling it. So now it actually goes somewhere. The visibility is actually quite good in both of these ships. Like, you can see surprisingly well out of this cockpit. But of course it's nothing like a fighter. Also, these both sport landing gears, and they have just enough power to use on their maneuvering. Not too, like, I don't think there's even one small reactor that you could remove without getting shortage of power in some situations. But yeah, we're really loving this. It drills really fast if you tunnel with it, but it's also very easy to surface drill with, and like excavating the hangar. However, I haven't yet used it on the hangar. Then this baby. You might remember the old Nox Falx. It's really clunky. It's really heavy. Let's see. 71.45 tons, and it doesn't really have enough thrust. It's got a little bit too much armor, so I need a new one. Improvements in this are not only in weight, I think it actually weighs less. 7145. I think it was the same actually. It is exactly the same. I didn't check this previously. No, it is lighter. It is also bigger. Like, I increased the I made it more of a circle on the outside rim, and there's like at least one layer more from this point to the back in width, I mean. And I replaced some heavy armor with light armor, like the stripe on the center. And I also added a pair of rocket launchers. They're under the cockpit. Also, now the Falx has a medium reactor and a medium container as opposed to a bunch of small ones. Also, a lot more thrust. I mean, seriously, a lot more. This is quite fast now. Also, it has 6 maneuvering thrusters to each direction, but still only 4 retro thrusters. Not that you want to use retro thrusters much in a combat situation. But yeah, there's a connector and tube leading to the cargo container there, and also the reactors are connected. Oh, well, the reactor 1 only is connected to that as well. Access ports are on the inside wings, sides, and overall it's quite fast. as I shall demonstrate now. So, not a clunker anymore. It is maneuverable. Doesn't roll too easily, but it's not supposed to be a really small and agile ship even. It's 71 tons. It needs to be heavy. You also have quite nice durability on this show, so if you accidentally crash, let's say trying to make a nice maneuver and oh no! You're not gonna break off more than your weapons pretty much. Maybe not all of them. Well, we lost the front rocket launchers and one of the Gatling guns, but it will remain stable, maneuverable and overall usable even if you crash it head on with relatively high speeds. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it currently. I only wish I could use the full power of the engines without the inertial dampeners. Like normally the inertial dampeners use last 33%, but as you can see I'm not really changing my direction well despite using as much as I can. But if I turn the dampeners on, I'll get the last of the juice and it'll be really easily maneuverable. But I just wish if I turn the inertial dampeners off, I'll get more out of the engines in normal use. That would only make sense. But no. Devs, fix it. But as such, I have demonstrated what I needed, and that's all. See you later.